Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, I'm going to be stepping into the role of your personal feline behaviorist. Now, if you've ever felt like your cat operates on a completely different, totally mysterious wavelength, well, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're going to decode your cat's secret language and translate those post-conflict behaviors that, honestly, most pet parents just completely misunderstand.
So, do cats actually apologize? It's a pretty fascinating question, isn't it? We're taking on a massive misconception here today. A lot of people think of cats as these cold, aloof, totally unapologetic little creatures. But the truth? They absolutely do apologize. They just do it in ways that look nothing like what we humans expect. And the stakes here are actually kind of high. If you miss these really subtle, silent signs, or worse, if you accidentally punish your cat for them, you could literally be permanently fracturing the bond you share. Okay, let's dive right into this. First, we'll cover the myth of the unapologetic cat. Then, we'll look at chemical and physical repair signals, followed by the belly exposure trap. After that, we're tracking silent proximity signals, and we'll wrap up with exactly how you should be responding to feline apologies.
All right, Section 1, the myth of unapologetic cats, shattering the illusion of the cold feline.
Look, here's the reality. Cats actively try to repair bonds after a conflict. But since we're human, we tend to view their actions through our own very human lens. When we mess up, what do? We use words, we offer hugs, we make these big, clear gestures. But a feline apology, that is deeply rooted in vulnerability, chemistry, and silence. When tension fills a room, your cat obviously doesn't have the words to fix it. Instead, their bodies undergo these profound physiological shifts. Getting your head around this difference is absolutely crucial. It's step one in translating their behavior.
Moving on to Section 2. Chemical and physical repair signals. From slow blinks to soft, scented headbutts.
Let's start building up your feline vocabulary. It all begins deep inside a tiny part of their brain called the amygdala. You know when your cat stares at you and blinks really slowly? Think about what happens right before that. When there's tension, like maybe you raised your voice, their amygdala fires off a stress response. Their primal instinct is to run away. But instead, they choose to stay, look right at you, a perceived threat, and deliberately shut their eyes. A 2020 study from the University of Sussex proved this is a calculated emotional risk. Think about it. A predator is choosing to go blind in front of you. When you blink back, their stress hormone, cortisol, measurably drops. It's literally a biological reset button.
Another wildly powerful signal is bunting. Cats have these little scent glands right on their forehead, their cheeks, and their chin. When you get upset, your stress hormones actually change the scent of the room. And to a cat who relies on smell way more than facial expressions, that change signals that your bond is breaking. So what do? They walk right up and press their head into you. They are literally trying to overwrite the tension in the room with their own sweet, familiar pheromones. They're reclaiming you as their safe space and trying to restore that chemical bond.
Now, context is literally everything here. If your cat drops a little mouse toy at your feet on a random Tuesday, yeah, for sure, they probably want to play. But if they drop a toy or, maybe a delightfully gross dead bug right after a really rough moment or scolding, that is absolutely not an invitation for fetch. In animal social dynamics, this is a reconciliation offering. Your cat is sacrificing their most valuable comfort item, just hoping that it brings you the exact same comfort it brings them.
And then we've got grooming. Allo-grooming is highly selective mutual grooming. And honestly, it has nothing to do with hygiene. Researchers have seen that when cats groom each other, or hey, when your cat suddenly starts aggressively licking your hand after a tense moment, it literally lowers their heart rate. They aren't just giving you weird little sandpaper kisses, they're actually using their connection with you to physiologically calm their own nervous system down.
Okay, Section 3. The belly exposure trap. The most dangerous misunderstanding in cat ownership.
This is arguably the biggest, most dangerous misunderstanding out there, and getting this wrong can severely damage your cat's trust in you. Let's paint a picture here. You scold your cat for, scratching the sofa again. Immediately they drop to the floor and flop onto their back, right? Big fluffy stomach exposed. Human instinct totally kicks in. You think, oh, they're being cute or brushing off the scolding, so you reach down for a tickle.
But wait, that belly houses all their most soft, vital organs. Out in the wild, no cat willingly exposes this unless they are deliberately making themselves vulnerable to de-escalate a major threat. So let's run through the belly flop rulebook. We need to reframe this completely. When they flop after tension, it translates directly to, "Hey, I am not a threat. Please don't be upset." If you reach down and touch that belly, you're violating the exact vulnerability they just offered you. To them, it feels like a complete betrayal of trust, which, surprise, surprise, is exactly why you usually get defensive swipes or bites in return. Just remember this golden rule. It is a vulnerable plea for forgiveness. It is never an invitation for tickles.
All right, on to Section 4, tracking silent proximity signals, the subtle, sweet art of just being there.
Let's look at a behavior that is incredibly subtle, almost human-like, and honestly, usually completely missed by pet parents. Behavioral researchers call this proximity maintenance. Now, cats are solitary by nature. If they're uncomfortable, they can and will just bail and leave the room. So if your cat quietly follows you into the kitchen and then the bedroom without making a single peep or demanding attention, that is a massive deliberate decision. It's actually a strategy shared with bonded primates. Think about it. When we fight with someone we love, sometimes we don't even talk. We just sit in the exact same room to quietly prove we aren't leaving. Your cat is doing the exact same thing.
And this brilliantly illustrates our proximity signal checklist. So you can track this at home. Next time there's a disconnect, just ask yourself, did they quietly follow me? Are they completely silent? No meowing. Are they keeping a safe, kind of watchful distance? Are they avoiding demanding food or play? If you are checking these boxes, your cat is absolutely extending a silent olive branch.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, responding to feline apologies, how to safely acknowledge their gestures and permanently strengthen your bond. So, knowing the signals is really only half the battle. Now you need an actual, actionable plan. Here is your step-by-step guide for safely acknowledging their apology. Number 1, just stay perfectly calm and still, no sudden movements. 2, if you're going to speak, lower your voice to a really soft, reassuring whisper. 3, offer a nice, slow blink back to help drop those cortisol levels. And 4, say it with me, whatever you do, do not reach for the exposed belly. If you follow these steps, you'll stop accidentally punishing their genuine efforts to make peace.
I do want to leave you with a quick, pretty serious reminder, though. If your cat keeps offering these structured chemical apologies over time, the slow blinks, the headbutts, the proximity, and you just continuously ignore or reject them, well, eventually they're going to stop trying. They won't get aggressive. They'll just go quiet. And that silence, that is not peace. That is just a cat who gave up on apologizing to you.
So this leaves us with one final, really important question. Are you listening when your cat says sorry? Now that you have the manual to decode their secret language, you actually have the power to transform every post-conflict moment into a chance to deepen your connection. So keep your eyes peeled, watch for those slow blinks, and always honor their vulnerability. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy decoding, everyone.